Remember that when responding based on web search results, you need to cite your sources using my tags. The stars glowed brightly against the darkness of space as Captain Tay stood on the observation deck of the UES Defender. Earth had just made first contact with the beings who called themselves the Galactic Confederation. 6 alien ships hovered above Earth's atmosphere, their sleek designs unlike anything humans had created. "Captain," the alien representative's request. "Permission to board," said Officer Sun, her voice steady despite the historic moment. "Permission granted," Tay replied. His heart beat faster, but his face remained calm. 20 years in Earth Space Force had taught him to hide his emotions. The alien delegation entered the meeting room 30 minutes later. Their leader, a tall being with blue skin and 4 arms, bowed slightly. "I am Ambassador Mock of the Galactic Confederation. We come in peace." Captain Tay nodded. "Earth welcomes you. I am Captain Tay of the United Earth Space Force." Ambassador Mock's large eyes blinked slowly. "Your planet is classified as a death world in our records. The conditions here would kill most species in our confederation. High gravity, extreme weather, dangerous animals, and natural disasters. Yet you have survived and built civilization. Impressive." The human delegation exchanged glances. They had never thought of Earth as particularly dangerous. "We wish to establish diplomatic relations," continued Mock. "Your species shows great potential. Over the next 6 months, humans and aliens shared knowledge and technology. Earth's scientific community made rapid advances with access to the Confederation's database. Captain Tay was assigned to lead the first human team to visit the Confederation's Central Space Station. Not everyone welcomed the aliens. "They're studying us like lab rats," warned Dr. Min during a private meeting with Captain Tay. "I've analyzed their questions. They're too interested in our biology, our ability to heal, our resistance to toxins. The Confederation has been nothing but helpful," argued Tay. "Their medical technology alone has cured 3 previously fatal human diseases." "Just be careful," Min insisted, "especially around the Bach species. They seem most concerned about our capabilities." The Bach were one of 12 major species in the Confederation. They had evolved on a low-gravity planet with minimal environmental challenges. Their technology was impressive, but physically, they were fragile compared to humans. 2 weeks later, Captain Tay received urgent orders to return to Earth. Communication with the lunar colony had suddenly stopped. As his ship approached the moon, he saw the destruction. The colony was gone, reduced to rubble. "No life signs detected," reported Officer Sun, her voice breaking. "All 20,000 colonists." Before they could fully process this discovery, emergency signals flooded in from Mars. The human settlement there was under attack. "It's the Confederation ships," shouted Navigator Doe. "They're firing on our people." Captain Tay stared at the video feed showing Confederation warships bombarding the Mars colony. "Get me Earth Command immediately." The response came from Admiral Yun herself. Her face was grim. "Captain, Earth is preparing for invasion. The Confederation has turned hostile. Their ships are positioning for orbital strikes." "Why? We've done nothing to provoke this," Tay said. A transmission interrupted them, a broadcast being sent to all human settlements. Ambassador Mock's face appeared on screen, but the friendly demeanor was gone. "People of Earth, the Galactic Confederation Security Council has determined that your species presents an unacceptable threat to galactic stability. Humans evolved on a planet that would kill most intelligent beings. Your physical capabilities, immune systems, and aggressive tendencies make you too dangerous to join galactic society. This is a necessary preventative measure." The transmission ended. Captain Tay gripped the command console tightly. "Orders, sir?" asked Officer Sun. "Plot an emergency jump to the far side of Jupiter," Tay said after a moment. "We can't help Earth if we're destroyed. Then send a message to any human ships off-world. Tell them to go dark immediately." As the UES Defender disappeared into deep space, Earth's defenses engaged the alien fleet. The humans fought bravely, but were outmatched by superior technology. Within hours, major cities were in flames. From his ship's hiding place, Captain Tay watched the long-range sensors. Some Confederation ships were damaged. The aliens had underestimated human resistance, but it wasn't enough. "They've taken everything from us," Officer Sun whispered. "Not everything," Tay replied, his voice hard as steel. "We're still alive, and as long as humans survive, this isn't over." He looked at his crew of 40 men and women, perhaps the last free humans in the solar system. "The Confederation will learn what happens when you corner a species from a death world." The UES Defender drifted silently in the shadow of Saturn's largest moon. 3 months had passed since the attack on Earth. Captain Tay stood before his crew in the ship's main hall. Their faces showed the same mix of grief and anger he felt inside. "Today we stop running," Tay said. "Earth is under siege but not defeated. Our home planet fights on." Officer Sun stepped forward with a data tablet. "We've intercepted Confederation transmissions. The aliens call this the Human Containment Operation. They expected Earth to fall within days. It hasn't." A small cheer rose from the crew. Tay nodded and continued. "The aliens don't understand what they've started. They've never fought a species from a death world before." Engineer Kang raised his hand. "Captain, I've finished the modifications to our ship. The Defender was built for research, but now she's ready for war." The Defender had been transformed. The science labs now produced explosives. The sample collection arms had been converted to weapon mounts. Even the ship's outer hull had been reinforced with salvaged materials from an abandoned mining operation on Titan. "Our first mission is contact," said Tay. "We need to find other human survivors off-world." The solar system had held over 50,000 humans outside Earth before the attack. Research stations, mining operations, and small colonies. Most had gone silent, but surely some had survived like the Defender. 2 days later, they received their first response to their carefully coded message. "Captain, signal from Ceres mining station," called Communications Officer Du, excitement in her voice. "They're alive. 300 miners hiding in the deep tunnels." Over the next few weeks, more responses came in. A research post on Europa, with 15 scientists, 32 crew members on a supply ship hiding in Neptune's rings, a military training unit of 60 soldiers that had been on maneuvers in the asteroid belt when the attack came. Tay established a secure communications network using old Earth protocols the aliens wouldn't know. He learned that the Confederation wasn't united in its attack on humanity. The Bach had led the campaign with only half the alien species supporting the action. "We're not alone in this fight," Tay told his crew, "and we're not helpless." Their first strike came a month later. A Confederation fuel depot near Jupiter. The aliens had grown careless, believing humans in the outer solar system had been eliminated. The Defender approached silently, using the new stealth systems Engineer Kang had designed. Security Officer Jin led the boarding party. Their spacesuits were modified with extra armor and weapons. "Remember," Jin told her team, "the Bach evolved on a low-gravity world. They're taller than us, but their bones are brittle. One good hit, and they go down." The raid was a complete success. The humans captured the fuel and destroyed the station. Most importantly, they took something precious, a Confederation communications array. "With this," said Officer Doe, examining the alien technology, "we can listen to everything they say, maybe even send false orders." Back on Earth, the situation was grim but not hopeless. The aliens controlled orbit and had destroyed major cities, but they struggled with Earth's higher gravity and diverse environments. Human resistance fighters used their knowledge of the planet to wage guerrilla warfare. Captain Tay received a transmission from an underground military base in what had once been South Korea. General Yu had organized resistance fighters across Asia. "The aliens can't handle our planet," General Yu reported. "Their troops need environmental suits to breathe our air. They get sick from our microbes. The high gravity exhausts them. And they're terrified of our wildlife." A soldier's dog attacked one and sent a whole unit running. Tay shared what he had learned about the Confederation. "The Bach are the main threat. They fear us because we're everything they're not, strong, adaptable, and durable. They told the other species that humans would eventually dominate the galaxy, if not stop now." General Yu nodded grimly. "Then we'll prove them right." The resistance grew stronger. Captain Tay coordinated attacks from space while Earth's fighters struck from below. They captured alien technology and adapted it for human use. The aliens had superior weapons, but humans understood something the Confederation did not, the true meaning of fighting for survival. 6 months after the initial attack, humans had reclaimed control of the moon. It wasn't much compared to what they had lost, but it was a start. The Confederation made a terrible mistake, Tay told his expanded crew, now numbering over 200 from gathered survivors. They should have killed us all at once. Now they'll learn why Earth species never go quietly into extinction. We adapt. We overcome. And we never forget our dead. Bot Commander Rin stared through the one-way glass at the human prisoner. The female human had been captured during a raid on one of their outposts near Mars. For 3 days, the Confederation scientists had been running tests on her. Commander Rin still couldn't believe what he was seeing. "Play the recording again," he ordered. The scientist beside him nodded and pressed a button. On the screen, they watched as the human was exposed to a radiation level that should have killed any living thing. She fell to her knees, vomited, and her skin turned red. But 6 hours later, she was sitting up. In 24 hours, she was walking again. "Impossible," muttered Rin. "No species can survive that dose." "Humans can," said the scientist. "Their cells have amazing repair abilities. And look at this." He showed Rin another recording. The human breaking the restraints designed to hold a being 3 times stronger than a buck. "Their world made them this way," explained the scientist. "High gravity gave them dense muscles and strong bones. Their weather forced them to adapt to extreme temperatures. Their many predators made them quick and clever. Even their air is poison to most species, but they breathe it easily." Rin felt a chill run down his spine. The Bok had pushed for this war, convincing the other Confederation species that humans would eventually become too powerful. Now he wondered if they had already waited too long. Far away, on the recaptured lunar base, Captain Tay and his growing resistance force had made a discovery of their own. "We've decoded more of their files," said Officer Doe, excitement in her voice. "The Confederation has been studying Earth for 50 years before making contact. Look what they found." She showed him images of Earth compared to other inhabited worlds in the galaxy. Earth had higher gravity, more extreme weather, more active geology, and more biodiversity than 90% of planets with intelligent life. "To them we're monsters," said Engineer Kang, reading the reports. "They call us Deathworlders because we evolved on a planet that would kill most aliens. Our muscles are stronger because of gravity. Our immune systems fight off diseases that would wipe out entire alien populations. We can eat foods that would poison them." "That's why the Bok wanted us destroyed," realized Captain Tay. "They saw us as a threat just for existing." Security Officer Jin had been quiet, studying the alien biology reports. Now she looked up. "Captain, this is important. The Bok are physically weak compared to us, but they're leading this war because they're afraid. The other species followed them out of fear too. But what if we could show some of them we're not the monsters the Bok claim?" The plan took shape quickly. Using the captured communication array, they identified a Confederation science vessel studying Jupiter's moons. It wasn't a military ship, and it belonged to the Nara, a species that had been reluctant about the war against humans. 3 days later, the human strike team boarded the alien vessel. The Nara scientists surrendered immediately, their large eyes wide with terror. "Please," said the Nara captain, her translator converting her musical language to human speech. "Do not kill us. We are not soldiers." Captain Tay stepped forward, hands empty to show he carried no weapon. "We're not here to harm you. We want to talk." The Nara were confused. According to Bok reports, humans killed without mercy, but these humans offered food, treated a scientist who had been injured during the boarding, and asked questions instead of making threats. The Bok told the Confederation that humans would eventually conquer the galaxy because of our physical advantages. Tay explained to the Nara captain. "They attacked us first, claiming it was necessary to protect other species." The Nara captain looked thoughtful. The Bach have always feared physical strength. Their society values technology and control above all. When they discovered your species could survive conditions that would kill them, they saw a threat. We never wanted war, said Tay. We were exploring our own solar system, not threatening anyone. Before the humans left, they gave the Nara captain data showing the true history of the conflict. Share this with others who will listen, Tay told her. Not all Confederation species supported this war. Some can still choose a different path. As they returned to their ship, Officer Sun asked, "Do you think they'll help us?" "Maybe," said Tay. "But either way, we've shown them something important. That humans aren't just physically strong. We can also show mercy." Back on Earth, human resistance fighters continued to adapt to the war. They captured alien weapons and modified them for human use. They used their knowledge of Earth's environments to set traps for the invaders. They survived conditions the aliens found unbearable. In his command center, Captain Tay received reports of human victories across the solar system. Small ones, but growing in number. The aliens had made a critical mistake in their assessment of humans. Yes, Earth had made humans physically formidable, but their greatest strength wasn't their bodies. It was their refusal to accept defeat. The Bach were right to fear us, Tay told his officers, but for the wrong reasons. It's not that we're stronger or faster. It's that we never stop fighting for our home. 9 months into the war, the tide was slowly turning. Captain Tay stood in the command center of Lunar Base Alpha, formerly a Confederation stronghold, now the headquarters of the human resistance. A large holographic map showed the current state of the solar system. Red for alien control, blue for human, yellow for contested areas. There was more blue than there had been a month ago. The Nara science vessel reached the Confederation Council, reported Officer Doe. They shared our message. 3 species have called for peace talks. And the Bach? Asked Tay. Still pushing for our extinction, but they've lost some support. Engineer Kang burst into the room, his face flushed with excitement. "Captain, we did it! The weapons modification works." The engineering team had been working for weeks to adapt captured alien plasma rifles to human use. The weapons were powerful, but designed for the 4-armed Bach with their different body structure. "Show me," said Tay. In the testing area, Security Officer Jin demonstrated the modified weapon. She fired at a target, and a burst of blue energy reduced it to ash. "The energy output is 3 times stronger than our best human weapons," she explained, "and we've solved the overheating problem." "How many can we produce?" asked Tay. "With the fabricators we captured, 200 a week," said Kang. "Enough to arm our special forces." That night, Tay received an encrypted transmission from Earth. General Yu appeared on screen looking tired but determined. "Captain, we've discovered something critical. The Bach are building a special weapon in orbit around Venus. Our spies report. It's called a planetary pacifier. It can alter a planet's atmosphere." Tay felt cold. "They're going to make Earth uninhabitable." "Yes, we estimate 3 weeks until it's operational." The next day, Tay called his commanders together. "This is the moment that decides everything," he told them. "We need to destroy that weapon and strike at the heart of the Bach command." The plan was daring. While Earth forces would launch a major offensive to draw away Confederation ships, Captain Tay would lead a small fleet to Venus. At the same time, a special team would infiltrate the Confederation's main communication hub near Saturn to broadcast the truth about the war to all species. "We captured this last week," said Officer Sun, showing them a Bach command vessel. "It's small, but has their identification codes. We can get close to their weapon platform undetected." The mission launched 3 days later. As they approached Venus, hidden in the stolen ship, they watched the massive battle unfolding near Earth. "General Yu has them distracted," said Tay. "Now it's our turn." The Bach weapon platform was enormous, a ring-shaped structure with energy beams connecting to smaller satellites. As they approached using Bach identification codes, Officer Doe monitored enemy communications. "Captain, I'm picking up a transmission from the Saturn hub. Our team succeeded." Across the solar system, on every Confederation channel, the truth was broadcasting. The real story of how the Bach had manipulated the other species into attacking, humans fabricating evidence of human aggression, the testimony of the Nara scientists about human restraint, and proof of the Bach's plan to make Earth uninhabitable, genocide against the human species. "They're in chaos," reported Officer Doe. "Some Confederation ships are standing down, others are fighting each other." But the Bach commander of the weapon platform wasn't surrendering. "Energy readings are spiking," warned Engineer Kang. "They're activating the weapon now." "All teams, move in," ordered Tay. Human fighters swarmed from hiding places among Venus's clouds. The battle was fierce. The Bach fought desperately, knowing their deception was exposed. Security Officer Jin led the boarding party onto the weapon platform. They fought their way to the control center, their modified plasma weapons cutting through Bach defenses. "Shut it down," Jin ordered once they secured the room. Engineer Kang worked frantically at the alien controls. "It's locked. The countdown can't be stopped remotely." "Then we destroy the control node," said Jin. She turned to her team. "Plant the charges. We have 5 minutes to get out." As they raced back to their ship, the platform's defenses targeted them. Their shuttle took heavy damage. Jin looked at her team. There were wounded who couldn't be moved quickly. "Get them aboard," she told the others. "I'll hold off the Bach." Despite protests, she took a position covering their retreat, modified plasma rifle in hand. One human against dozens of Bach soldiers, but one human from Earth, a Deathworld. From the command ship, Captain Tay watched as the weapon platform exploded. In a brilliant flash, most of the boarding team made it out. Officer Jin did not. Hours later, as the human fleet regrouped, messages came in from across the solar system. The Confederation was fracturing. Multiple species were withdrawing from the war, condemning the Bach deception. "The Bach fleet is retreating to their home system," reported Officer Sun Tae nodded. "We've won the battle. But the war isn't over until Earth is free." He looked at the image of Earth, still partly shrouded by Confederation forces. "And now, we take back our home." The combined human fleet moved through space in perfect formation. 1 year after the first attack on Earth, humanity had gathered its strength for the final push. Captain Tay stood on the bridge of the Avenger, formerly the UES Defender, now rebuilt and armed with the best weapons humans could create or capture. "All ships report ready, Captain," said Officer Sun Tae nodded. "Begin the operation." Earth had suffered greatly under Confederation occupation. Cities lay in ruins. Millions had died. But humans had never stopped fighting back. Now, with 5 alien species having withdrawn from the war after learning the truth about the Bach deception, the time had come to reclaim their homeworld. The battle was fierce, but one-sided. Many Confederation ships surrendered as soon as the fighting started. The Bach vessels fought to the end, but they were outnumbered. Within 3 days, Earth's orbit was clear of enemy ships. On the surface, General Yu led the final assault against the main Bach stronghold in what had once been the city of New Sydney. As human forces closed in, the Bach commander sent a message to all channels. "We surrender. Please cease your attack." 2 weeks later, Captain Tay stood in the newly established Earth Government headquarters in Geneva. Representatives from over 50 human colonies and outposts had gathered to decide the fate of their species and their former enemies. "The Bach leadership has been captured," reported General Yu. "Their Supreme Commander asks to speak with our leaders." The Supreme Commander of the Bach forces was brought before the Human Council. Unlike his soldiers, who were tall and thin, he was shorter and his skin was a deeper blue, signs of higher status among his kind. "I am Supreme Commander Gill of the Bach Protectorate," he said through a translator. "I come to offer our complete surrender and to beg mercy for my people." Captain Tay stepped forward. "Mercy? You attacked us without provocation. You destroyed our colonies. You killed millions of our people. You planned to make our planet uninhabitable. And now you ask for mercy?" Commander Gill lowered his 4 arms in a gesture of submission. "Yes, we were wrong about humans. We feared your physical strength and your ability to survive conditions that would kill us. We believed that given time, you would conquer the galaxy. So you tried to destroy us first, said General Yu, her voice hard. Yes, admitted Gil. The Bach have always believed in striking first against potential threats. For thousands of years, this strategy kept us safe. But we were wrong about humans. How so? Asked Tay. We thought your physical advantages made you dangerous. But it was your minds, your ability to adapt and work together, even in the worst circumstances, that defeated us. And most surprisingly, your capacity for restraint. You could have destroyed our homeworld by now. You haven't. The room fell silent. It was true. Some human leaders had wanted to launch an immediate attack on the Bach homeworld, to make them pay for what they had done to Earth. But Captain Tay and others had argued against it. Destroying their planet would make us no better than them, Tay had said. Now, facing the defeated Bach commander, Tay felt the weight of the decision before them. The future of two species hung in the balance. What happens to the Bach is not for me alone to decide, said Tay. But know this, unlike you, we don't destroy potential threats before they prove dangerous. We will have justice for our dead. But not genocide. 5 years passed. Earth had been rebuilt, stronger than before. The Galactic Confederation had been dissolved and replaced by the Interstellar Alliance, with Earth as a founding member. Former Confederation species had learned to work with humans rather than fear them. Ambassador Tay, formerly captain, prepared to address the Alliance Council for the first time. The Great Hall contained representatives from 23 species, including the Bach, who had been allowed to join under strict monitoring. Representatives of the Alliance, began Tay. Today marks 5 years since the end of the war. 5 years of rebuilding, of healing, and of learning to understand each other. He looked around the room, meeting the eyes of aliens who had once been enemies. Humans come from what you call a death world. Our planet shaped us to be strong, to heal quickly, to adapt to changing conditions. These traits helped us survive the war you brought to our doorstep. Some of the alien representatives shifted uncomfortably. But Earth taught us something else too, that life always finds a way forward. That existence isn't just about survival, but about growth and connection. We could have chosen vengeance. Instead, we chose to build something new with those willing to join us as equals. Tay's gaze fell on the Bach representative, who nodded slightly in acknowledgement. The term Deathworlder was once used to mark humans as dangerous. Today, I accept that title with pride. We come from a challenging world. We don't break easily. We don't give up. And we remember both our friends and our enemies. He paused, looking out at the stars visible through the council chamber's great window. The galaxy is vast and full of wonders. Let us explore it together. Not in fear, but in friendship. And let no species forget that peace is always preferable to war. But those who bring war to Earth will find that Deathworlders do not go quietly into the night.